This is Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. Today is Monday, April 15th, 2024. Get yourself a beverage. Get ready to go. We have 10 stories in the queue from the weekend to give you the updates to get you started going forward for today. We will explain how these stories were picked because they are vetted by you as conversational at the end of the headline. So stay tuned for that. And remember our website. This is theconversationproject.com. To find out more details about how we do things around here. And email us anytime you feel at theconversationinbox@gmail.com to chat up things going forward. As we said, 10 stories in the queue for today. No particular order as they're being listed, or not 10 to 1 as top 10, but we'll give you some explanation of how they got in here and what they mean towards you as we give you context going forward. Let's get into the news stories, the headlines for this morning. Headline number one is one of the biggest stories that happened, and followed by another one of the biggest stories happened. The first headline we're talking about is chaos at Sydney Mall as 6 people stabbed to death and suspect fatally shot. The tragic incident occurred at the Sydney Shopping Center where a man stabbed 6 people to death with a violent act that took place on a busy Saturday, causing panic and chaos among shoppers. Among the stabbing, about a 40-year-old man was stabbed. The assailant was a 40-year-old man. He was fatally shot by police in the actual melee. It was a tragic incident that took all by surprise and would probably be the biggest story of the weekend, the biggest tragic story of the weekend, if not for the story we have coming up at number 2. That headline, unfortunately, reads like this. Israel. 30 plus projectiles fired by Iran towards Israel. This is a headline, a story that expanded along the day because later in the day on Saturday, after the original attacks we had from the melee in Sydney, we had this attack here. Provoked attacks, says Iran, with Israel attacking targets inside of Iran and some of their proxies. Iran and some of their proxies fired off over 300 projectiles at Israel over the day and night for the tiny nation. 98% of all projectiles were destroyed. Only about 9-10 people were hurt. No actual fatalities in the attack. And because the United States decided not to say we're going to pull the trigger on some retaliation, Iran sort of backed off a bit. But they do say if Iran is going to be attacked by Israel in its borders, Israel's going to attack, or Iran's going to attack Israel within its borders. Israel right now, basically at this moment, is meeting with this war cabinet to figure out what to do next on this one. But this is bringing up lots of chatter, lots of hashtags, and a whole lot of World War III's popped up on the Twitter over the weekend. Story number 3 for this morning. Headline for that one reads, Nike new Team USA Olympic track uniform for women slammed as sexist by athletes. Quote, a costume born of patriarchal forces. If you're watching the video, you can see this. If you're not watching the video, go to our website and check out the links for this one later, or click the link in the description. It's probably wherever you're getting this audio from. But you can now see, because there's plenty of pictures out there, not just various athletes complaining about it, the actual Olympic gear for the track and field team. If you look in the video, you see on the left, you have the male. On the right, you have the female. It's not the fact that one is more reddish and one's more pink. It's literally the crotch. So take a look. The men have essentially full biking shorts, full tights to go around. The women have extremely tight bikinis that may actually not quite cover up enough, if you get what I feel. So if you do something to add to this suit, you're adding more friction, you're adding more weight, more drag to slow things down. Many people have been complaining about this one for a while. You can see where an issue could be. Let's go to the story we have at number 4. The headline for number 4 this morning reads like this. 26 barges break loose and float down Ohio River, causing damage and prompting bridges closures in Pittsburgh. So Friday night, 26 barges broke loose. They just broke loose up on the Ohio River because of flooding, extra water just sort of happened. So 26 total barges just started floating down the river uncontrollably. We know what happened a few weeks back when a barge uncontrollably rolled into a bridge. And so the people in Pittsburgh shut down the bridge to make sure things were fine. Those barges were made under control fairly soon after they shut the bridge down on it. So it was not as bad as a incident could have been, because of the fact and the embarrassment that 26 whole big old ships get started floating down the river without anybody keeping an eye on them. So it's a good part of that one. The bad thing is we are now hyper aware of these situations and what they can mean and what they can do. So what do we do going forward? Well, hopefully we tie up our barges much better, but we'll see about these things literally going forward because everyone's on high alert for these things. Speaking of high alert, Let's get to the story at number 5 this morning. That is a big one. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter scores second week atop Billboard 200. We were somewhere, me and my wife were somewhere this weekend, and Beyonce's Texas Hold'em was playing, and we were listening to where we were. They were playing in the pop station. Oh, I know exactly where we were, in the car driving around someplace, and we're listening to a local pop station I used to work with, and she's like, "They can't play Beyonce. This is country." Because Beyonce's everywhere. Here's the thing about Cowboy Cardi and Texas Hold'em. When it came out, she said, it's country, deal with it, but everybody kept playing it. And that's why people are sort of complaining about the fact that it may not be so much country as it is. However, it's number one in the Billboard Top 200 charts. That's everybody's chart. So it's the biggest album all over the world. Because Beyonce can't be stopped, I don't think she can be contained at this point. It is what it is. Speaking of big numbers, and a maybe not surprise, but it's a big number, a big deal for Civil War, the movie, which came out this weekend and is number one in the box office in week number 1, earning $25.7 million. Number 2, Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire, 15.5. And this week's number 3, the other previous thing had the third issue in there, the third movie of the week. This one doesn't, so I'm reading ahead on different copies. Apologize for that one. But here's the deal on Civil War. People thought it'd be divisive. People thought it'd be odd. People thought it may not play well. It played fairly well for the box office. Will it play well in week 2? We will see, as the reviews are mixed. People are going to see it because of the time that we're in. When it was concepted, when it was created, when it was filmed, there was a thought process of the whole people have this civil war in the back of their minds going forward. And then now we're dealing with things that are really real in this case, with the second running of Donald Trump trying to go back to being the president, and some of the issues we're hearing from people who are rumblings if he doesn't win, because that, of course, means the election was faked and all's going to hell after that one. This is set at a time where something very basically similar has happened, and California and Texas, oddly enough, joined forces to attack Washington, the next Civil War. The problem is, all the responses I've seen in the chat I've had with people, and literally some chat in some quick hit videos we've done, said they didn't like it. The movie wasn't that great. Maybe the premise was the right time to do this, but the movie didn't quite play out as well as they thought. And it's their opinion. Remember, your mileage may vary on these stories. At number 7 this morning, the headline reads, Golden Bachelor couple. Oh, we missed the picture, so this is the wrong picture in the video. But the Golden Bachelor couple, Gerry Turner and Theresa Nist, announced they are divorcing. So we're short a picture in the video, so apologies for that. But Gerry Turner and Theresa Nist, who got married at the end, the finale of the Golden Bachelor, are getting divorced 3 months later. They were on a Good Morning America talking about the relationship, which followed what's happening. It's after they did the whole TV show, and there's much of speculation on what's going on. Much of the fact that many of these bachelor couples or bachelorette couples don't actually last, and maybe the reality of a bunch of 70-year-olds doing what the 30-year-olds are doing to kind of be famous has come to terms with what's going on. Now, one of the weirder things about people who are kind of throwing their hat in their 2 cents in this is the responses we're getting from people who are actually contestants, people who missed. Someone who was essentially a second runner-up was like, it was a lot of thing, and she was upset because she didn't quite make it. Her kids met the guy, and they gelled, and they didn't make it, so everybody was devastated. But now the reality of this works out, and they basically were separated pretty quickly after they got married. After a few weeks, they started living apart because something didn't hit. Maybe we should not get married on game shows. Maybe we should not get married during game shows. Maybe we should not get married during game shows. Now, the picture we have up actually corresponds with the story we have for number 8, the headline. Duke University has officially ended its full ride scholarship for Black students in need of financial assistance. They've officially ended this program dedicated to support Black students in need of financial assistance. The scholarship was initially named in honor of Reginald Reggie Harris, the Duke's first Black student government president, whose life tragedy ended prematurely. Although the program is being discontinued, Duke Office of University Scholars and Fellows plans to collaborate with the Mary Lou Williams Center for Black Culture to continue supporting Black students and their capacities, whatever they can do. But this particular scholarship supporting people is now done. Many people are saying many things of that. Some are up in arms. In fact, it just seems like flat out racism and, a overly just outright attack on DEI for no reason except to be mean. Some people are kind of going to the, well, fairness. Your mileage will definitely vary on this one, but we'll see more how this comes down, as there will be, looks like, legal action maybe to take care of this one. Speaking of legal action, a bunch of guys are being sued, including Fox News, Newsmax, Stephen Crowder, Tim Pool, all being sued by a man claiming they falsely identified him as a neo-Nazi mass shooter. Yeah, that could be bad. The man, his name is Marcio Garcia. It's claimed that these media outlets incorrectly associated him with such activities. The misidentification has prompted him to take legal action against these organizations to address the false claims made against him. We know what happens when someone with some clout says things about you that doesn't quite work out. We know what happened to the ladies in Georgia who Donald Trump said basically fixed the election against him, and how they can no longer live in their houses and live their lives normally. We know what happens. We'll see what happens in these cases going forward. These many cases, because it's like 5 people being sued for going on a narrative because the narrative, I guess, was good enough for the clicks, I guess. And we're not getting out of here without any OJ news. Here's big OJ news from the weekend. Number 1, OJ Simpson will be cremated. Number 2, his executor of his estate, his lawyer, is going to do what he can to keep the Goldmans from getting any money. There was a thought that a payout of around $30 million would come out because of, he's now died, so he can, that can be done by his estate. His lawyer is going to fight that tooth and nail. And number 3, we will not have Mr. Simpson's brain donated to study the effects of CTE. Many former football players, many former athletes in general, donate their brains so they can kind of look at them and see if there's maybe some impact from CTE, from blunt force trauma to the head, from especially back in the days when they used to just ram each other in the head and just not think about it. Mr. Simpson's brain will not be donated to science. He will be cremated. That's how his remains will be taken care of. We are not quite done with that. And the sort of joke about, being cremated, you can say that in your head because I know you're thinking it. O.J. Simpson still in the news, even though he passed last week. And as I said very, very often in the comments of the weekend, he'd probably be happy about that wherever he is right now. Let's go to our teaser story for this morning. This is a story that we can chat up tomorrow if you deem it worthy. That's why it's called a tease. This is where I explain the feeds for Conversation Project on Facebook and Twitter, and how you get stories lined up for us that are conversational every day. You go to Facebook or X/Twitter and our feeds, our links there to see what's going on. And you can do that just when you're checking your normal stuff. Just follow us so you can see what's going on. It is, of course, facebook.com/this is a conversation project and twitter.com/th_conversation, or x.com, if you will, and you just engage in the stories. You literally click the like button or the little mean face button or a thumbs up, whatever you want to click to engage in the story. The higher engagement we get, the more chance we have of talking about the stories the next iteration. For the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday, we'll give you 8 stories from the top 15 of the previous day. Today, we gave you 10 stories from the whole weekend, about, going through each day. So that's, we get about 30 stories within a day's span. So that gives you a good span of time to get those stories in there. You vote them up. You tell us what to talk about. You give us the stories. You do the rundown. So without your help, we need you. So the headline we are teasing right now, look for this one going out. This is going to be a big story, and we're pretty sure we'll talk about it for a while. Headline from AP's version: 4 people charged in the case of 2 women missing from Oklahoma. 2 mothers went looking to pick up their kids and went missing. They were now found. They found remains that they're being identified right now, and they charged 4 people in the disappearance. We'll be talking about the story tomorrow as part of a rundown. You will tell me that one literally today for tomorrow. Our spotlight sponsor for this morning is Resume Solution. If you've noticed, because you're a longtime listener or viewer, there's been a bit of a change going on here for the Conversation Projects, things you might have heard. Today was a bit different look. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If not, let me know. But maybe you need a different look in your career. Maybe you need a different look at your job place. Maybe you just need to take another look at yourself and you're not seeing yourself so well. The best way to do that is a snapshot, and a snapshot of your stuff is basically a resume. Resume Solution will give you a free resume review to get you started. And if you use this service, they will guarantee you more interviews with your updated resume. Now, maybe you don't need a interview. You You just need to see how your wares line up against all the things you've done lately. They'll work with you to kind of figure out what things are important, what things are no longer important. You know, that fast food job you had 30 years ago, not so important anymore, but maybe it's those club committee meetings that you've been a part of will give you some boosters there. They will redo your resume and get you set on your path to your next step, or maybe in just increasing someplace where you are, showing exactly what you can do at your current place, or just a little something to keep so you know just how well you're doing. Use our link as an affiliate link so we get a small commission for your usage. This is theconversationproject.com/resume solution. This is theconversationproject.com/resume solution. Use this link and it says affiliate, so we get a small, tiny cut from this one if you use it today. Let's go to a bit of promotion on the Conversation Project. The Conversation Project lives online at this. It's conversationproject.com. This is where we get a chance to talk about us very quickly. We've already told you about the feeds, so we want you to go to the feeds and engage in the stories we post. About every 50 minutes, there'll be a new headline there to check out. You've told you about our email address. You can talk to us anytime you want to on that end. And our website, which is, of course, this is theconversationproject.com. See more of our sponsors, see more places you can find us in various forms, and consider going to our partnerships page and partnering up with us. If you like what we're doing, and especially if you like what we're doing here today's sort of, I'll call it speed edition of things going on, came from a lot of feedback we got from people going forward, including some of our newer actual subscribers, newer partners going in looking for some things. So hopefully this local works out well. We'll do some more tweaking, and it's great for you. If you want to help basically tweak it some more and get your 3 cents in there, you can always email me, and we read every single email, take all those into consideration, but we also listen very intently to our partners. Go to this is theconversationproject.com/partners, partnerships, and you can see that. Go to the links on our website and be a partner today. It doesn't take very much, and the little you give us, trust me, goes a long way towards keeping things going here in the Conversation Project and some of the greater things we do for More Better Media LLC. Finally, one more thing, so you learned something today. We're going to have your word for the day. The word for the day happens to be a very good word, I think. It's scarce. Scarce, which is defined as deficient in quantity or number compared with demand, used in a sentence. In the remote village, clean drinking water was scarce, forcing residents to travel long distances to find a reliable source. Find out more about the word of the day and all big words you use at the Big Word Project, thebigwordproject.com is where you find that one. And look for our brand new book, the first edition of Big Words You Ought to Know. We're going to have a whole lot of them coming forward, one every quarter for the next 3 years. It's that massive. Look for that on Amazon or go to the links you see inside the description of however you're getting this video, audio thingamabobber. So that's it. We're done. Monday, April 15th edition of 2024. It is tax day, so keep that in mind. You want more information on some other things, things you might not have known, some learning things. Make sure you look into the description of this audio or this video so you can see more links to some today things, or just subscribe to the newsletter. All the links are sent to you, plus you get all links to the news stories. You don't have my face or my voice. If that's an issue, you can go past that by going to our website, clicking on the button to subscribe to the newsletter, and there you have that fixed. I am still Jay Cleveland Payne. This is, for the moment, things you might have heard. Hopefully you enjoyed what we had going today. If not, you can email me at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. You can reply to this video and let me know what you know going on. Let me know what you think about the stories. Reply with information and questions about the stories, because that's the biggest thing we need, people chatting that up. Make sure you share these videos or audios with folks who have a greater response. Engage in the stories at our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Consider being a partner, and stay limber. Stay hydrated, stay on task. That's going to stick around for a while. Love you, mean it. Let's get out of here. Big Monday's plans, got them? Time to get into work. Have a great day.